By this point, I mean, most of us are really accustomed to getting ready for heat. I was a collegiate athlete in the Big 12, so we had 4 schools. We raced in Texas and done races at Drake and Indianapolis and here. So the heat was definitely something to be prepared for, but I think most of us felt really prepared.
And here we have a question from Jonathan Galt. He said, Jenny, you've made every U.S. team since 2007. That streak is now over. What are your emotions right now?
It's hard to believe. I really thought I was going to make the team today, and I just wasn't ready. I think I've shown that over the last month or so, that I've been fighting for every bit along the way and willing to believe for sure. And I've been saturated in prayer by people who love me around me. But I just needed to be in 4 flat shape. And that was proven today by the incredible run by the 3 women that made the team. I think what will be shocking is to watch the Olympics on television. I haven't seen an Olympic Games on TV since 2004. So if any of you remember Dina winning a medal, that was the last time I watched track and field on television. So it will be a little bit of a shock. I think maybe it's hard for some athletes to admit or say this out loud, but the sport goes on without you, and you don't make the games, and the games goes on and they're fine without you. So that will take a little, that will cause a little heartbreak for me, but I'll be rooting for Team USA just like the rest of our country.
Have you already thought ahead and what your plans are if you didn't make the team before the trials?
No, I mean, I've thought ahead as far as thinking that my puppy Truman is going to love me whether I make the team or not when I come home. And beyond that, I really haven't made any plans. I don't know. I don't even know what races are coming up. I've been just, when you're behind like I was, you can only think so far ahead. And so I've really been focused on this, and my plan was to make the team and go to processing tomorrow and have a medal around my neck. So I'm going to have to do a major recalibration with my coaches, probably not today, but in the next few days.
Here we have a question from Kevin Soley. He said, can you pinpoint a specific issue in your buildup?
COVID? Can we all blame COVID for everything? I was in killer shape January 2020. And in fact, I did a couple of indoor races and I was in Boston for Boston Indoors, but went to Harvard and did a workout that just really crushed. It made me feel so confident. And from then till now, it was just hard to manage. I had an injury in the summer for one of the first times in my career I've ever had an injury over the summer, probably just pushing too hard, training too hard. And just waiting. I don't know. I mean, I can't pinpoint something specific except the one thing everyone's had to manage. And I really admire the people that made it this far and made it to the final and made the team, because they really endured.
And then we have a question from Eddie Pels. There was some pretty heavy jostling at the start. Were you involved in that, and did it impact you?
Yeah, I fell right in the middle of it. Fortunately, I'm a really steady person. I've been in a lot of races with a lot of jostling. Knock on wood, I've never fallen in a 1500. Well, that's not true. I have. In Brussels one year I fell, in a couple of years I've fallen, but that was extreme. Anyone watching the 1500 and watching track and field, that first 100 meters was extreme. And I don't know, I mean, nobody went down, but maybe it should have been called back. I don't know what the rules exactly are, but it was but it's always a heightened experience when you're in the middle of it. Did it impact my race? No. I mean, nobody really fell. I don't even know if I got any spike marks from it. It was just a lot of bodies coming in kind of at the same speed. So everybody wanted one of those top 3 spots. So they were fighting from the gun.
Then we have a question from Jonathan Galt. Jenny, would you be able to share your thoughts on the Shelby Houlihan situation now? And do you believe her explanation?
Yeah, I think it's important that track and field engage in this conversation. It's hard, it's tricky. I hope that you guys respect the fact that I've been focusing on this, and so I don't know even as much as you guys know. I haven't been reading the articles. I don't know the intricacies of the debate back and forth. But I will share with you what I do believe and what I think I do know. The process of track and field, the process of drug testing, First of all, I'm not the judge. The clock is the judge. There's USADA, WADA, the three-panel board that's a judge. So number one, I'm grateful I don't have to make the decisions on who makes the team, whose tests, lab results are suspicious or not. So I want to say that out front. I'm not the judge of this, and I'm grateful that I'm not. But I also want to say none of these things are a popularity contest either. And that's why we have a trials here where the top 3 win. And that's why we have drug testing where the lab gets to make the determination on what is in your blood. Because at the end of the day, track and field is not a popularity contest. And I'm in favor of it being that way.
And then we will wait a sec to see if the questions from the media come through.
I want to say one more thing too. There's experts determining these things. And while I think the media should dig into this and help try to find the truth, and I appreciate people being fans of the sport, not only are there experts that know more than us and are experts in their field determining these things, but there's also an expert defense. Like anyone that is in this situation has an expert defense behind them. So again, I just want to distance myself from any sense that I'm an expert on either end of those decisions. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, next question.
No worries. I will just wait a second just to see if the media has any more questions. If you have any more questions, raise your hand so I know you're typing. Okay, we have one coming in right now. Two hands coming through. All right, we have a question from Alex Ozzie. They said, any plans or thoughts on what's next for you?
I mean, I'm in good enough shape. I want to keep racing. My rounds were really clean and really smooth. I felt good. I think I got fitter as I was testing myself out there. So I want to continue racing this season. It just is a matter of sitting down, looking at the calendar and determining what races are up next that makes sense for me to go to.
We have a question from Jonathan Galt. Did you talk to the Olympians after this race, and what did you say to them?
I am so proud of the team that I'm on. The New Balance women are just phenomenal people. And a perfect example is Abby's prelim in the 5K. I mean, I watch the women on Team New Balance and I'm just constantly re-inspired by the beautiful integrity of these women out doing the sport as well as they possibly can. So to see some of my teammates make the team, we all kind of huddled a little bit afterwards and I walked up and I just said, I'm so proud to be on this team, the New Balance team. And just proud that, when I line up, the people I'm sharing a uniform with are just such towers of courage. So I'm just really proud of them.
And then we will wait one more second. If you have any more questions, raise your hand. All right, I am not seeing any more questions. Thank you.
Thanks again for being here, guys.